third video about my research project on data mining of text that students generate when feeding it back about your lessons. In the previous video we looked at how the app can help identify key emotions that students expressed in their text. We also thought about the shortcomings of just looking at this data in a raw way without actually trying to understand what the data could be telling us. In particular, we focused on the concept of students expressing sadness and how this is not necessarily related to sadness about the lesson, but more about how you are dealing about the subjects, for example, that you might be dealing with, or sadness can be picked up in a student giving constructive feedback about themselves and indeed constructive feedback about your lessons. The other tool that we can use here is a different form of emotional analysis, which is using the Ekhman principles. So here we can see the Ekhman graph, and you can see that Ekhman uses fear, anger, joy, disgust and surprise. And what's interesting, if we compare here, both apps, both processing picked up on a large amount of joy that students felt in the lesson, and it also identified one student that was expressing fear about the lesson. When we actually went into looking at this, what the student was talking about is frustrations that they felt the lesson was not moving fast enough for them and was repeating content again and again and again. We'll talk later on about a conversation you could have with that student and identifying students that do use negative words such as boring or repetitive or too easy. They can be used to structure conversations and workshops so students understand what's going on your lesson. But you can see here the big difference between Ekhman and Poltic is that Ekhman, I feel, has, when we actually look at the comments themselves, has actually more accurately identified the level of sadness in the lesson. Now, this is because the program identifies and analyses and looks for sadness using different criteria. So it can be very useful to actually use both of these side by side and see if there is any difference. Both are valuable and useful in their own way, so I was just in your data analysis project with students, you're analysing both ways. In the next video, we're going to look at POMS, which looks at the range of emotional states that students might be experiencing in your lesson, given the text that they have created for you.